Hey guys, welcome to the Chroma side of YouTube. Today I want to talk about acrylic skins. So, what do you do with acrylic skins? You could do 1.5 million things with acrylic skins. You could cut them and fill in you could draw something on a canvas and you could cut them to fill in the drawing and to make a new looking painting or something of that matter. Also, you could take them and cut them out and make jewelry out of them, which is what I like to do. I haven't tried anything else, but you know, it is what it is. Now, what you ask is acrylic skin. When you do a pour or something of that manner, you get what we call an acrylic skin, what falls off of your canvas and doesn't get included in the pour. If you let it dry and you peel it up off of your plastic, this is what you get, an acrylic skin. And you can make all sorts of things out of it. Now, I store mine in between baking sheet, cheap baking sheet that I get at Walmart. And that just keeps it flat and also keeps it from sticking to anything so that I don't waste my baking sheets. This one I did not do that because it was so thin I couldn't peel it off the paper, but I am dead set in love with this one little piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to cut this out with the plastic on it so that I can glue it into my bezel and still keep this piece right here. Wish me luck, guys. I really love that one part. Now see, I sit this under my drying rack because I don't have a lot of things, so like a lot of room. So a lot of these have like little hairs in them, but it's okay because as long as I can clean it beforehand. But these are my favorite colors, so I decided I would cut these out and keep these just in case there was something I liked out of them. So what I'm doing right now is I'm basically in my head I'm taking inventory because I am super excited to say, well, first things first, I have bezels here to make jewelry out of. I also have 2 bracelet things. I don't know where it went. 2 bezel, like they're bracelets, but they're bezel trays that are already in the shape of a bracelet, and I want to make those. Brown one that I made. That will look beautiful in bezel trays. And this one I think is big enough that I could actually make the whole bracelet out of this one. Or I think I have a larger one over here, but I don't know if I want a green bracelet. I don't know if I want a brown bracelet either, but the way it goes. I don't know why I was so intent on keeping this piece. Oh, because it has the darker cells that I'm obsessed with, you guys. And this is the big one. This one is the that green, that zigzaggy green I was telling you guys about. I showed you all my skins. And this too is an acrylic skin. Now I don't know if this is too thin. I mean, it's pretty thin. I don't know if it's too thin for me to get off the paper, but I'm gonna work on it anyway, because there are some amazing spots in here that I would love to make some jewelry out of. And if the plastic has to go with it, so be it. So let me get everything prepared, and for me it'll be a couple minutes, but for you it'll be a couple seconds. So I'm gonna turn you off, get everything prepared, and then I'm gonna explain to you guys how I did it. Alrighty? Okay guys, I'm back. So, what I did was I found my little bracelets I was just talking about. See, I have 2 bracelets that are bezels, and what I'm going to do is what I did for this guy. So, I saw this on one of the resin videos that I watched. This lady did this so that she could get the right cut, and so that she could basically test and see what looked better, because she had a window of what she was cutting out. So basically what she did was she took her bezel, she stamped it in her stamp pad, then she put it on her paper, which I'm just using Yupo paper because it's pretty sturdy, and I'm thinking it might make a really good stencil. So I'm going to do these 2 for you guys on camera. I already did that one to make sure that my ink worked and everything. I bought that ink at Tuesday morning because obviously you guys know that I absolutely love it Tuesday morning. Aren't those cute? Do you imagine like pores in this and someone wearing it? How cute would that be? Anyway. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to take my little ink pad. I'm going to take just one of these guys. And I'm going to get him all inked up. And I've already wiped off the ink off of one of these things, so I know that this ink comes off. I guess that's good enough. I mean, easy and simple, right? Alright, there's that. This one, not so much. I think I need to use maybe that one. Let's try it again. Pull these guys out of the way like this. No, still not any good. Well, I can guess off of that, I guess. Alright, now comes the next part. Now that I've cleaned the ink off of my bezels, I have my little cutting board that I bought at Ross because I didn't want to mess up my table. And I've got my X-Acto knife. Now this part is kind of, you want to concentrate, so I'm going to be quiet and I'll probably end up fast forwarding this part. But you want to be as precise as possible so that you can get nice little cutouts when you actually cut out your skins. Oh, I forgot to say, when you cut out these, cut out on the inside of the thing. Don't cut out the whole line. Like, don't cut out on the outside of the line. You want to cut out on the inside of the line because you want the actual shape of the inside of the bezel, not the whole bezel itself. That's probably one of the biggest problems is you see, I'll tell you why the problem. I cut the shape of the bezel out. Then I put the skin in, and the problem that occurred for me, let's see if you can see this. I tried to cut the skin around, like I tried to put my X-Acto knife in here like this and cut this excess skin off, but what happened was it wasn't an exact cut because it was already in the bezel. So, but, you know, you live and you learn, and then you try different ways. This is what I saw in one of the resin places, so here we go.
taking these little pieces out of the middle area so I can see. I'm going to try my best to get it, perfect, but, I am human. The air is human. I hope that my head is not in the way of all of this. Alright. Can you see that? I can still see the line around it, but it's still not a great hole. I don't know. Let's test it out and see. I don't know. I mean, I can go through like this and kind of smooth things out. See what I'm going to cut out, you know? I think this is the one I'm going to go with. Right here. Did it make it go faster? Yes. Did it make it easier? Yeah, I guess. It is what it is. I'm gonna turn it this way because that one was more round on that side. Back through there. Let it down.
There we go. Alright, let me grab a bezel and see how this looks. That was 10 times faster than what I've ever cut out a bezel piece for. And the fit is not that bad. Now, this is the first time I've ever left the plastic on. So it's really like slippery in the bezel. So I have a feeling that I'm going to have to figure out a way to take this plastic off. But I do like how fast that went. Alright guys, well there's my example of cutting out. I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut out some more of these skids. And then I will get back to you on how I attach them to my bezels in just a few minutes. So I don't think I need to show you how I cut out the other ones. I'm just going to go ahead and go through there and kind of perfect my technique for cutting out my windows. Be right back, y'all. Okay, guys. So I got a few of my colors cut out. I cut out this guy from that purple one that I told you guys I really wanted to cut out. But I've decided to put this aside and use it for a different one at a later date because I found this in my brown. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see. There it is. These are my trimmers that I always call them, the caterpillars, whatever you want to say. I found them in the brown skin, and I decided I wanted to make a pendant out of that one instead. So yeah, so I cut that guy out, cut that guy out. I have some over here that I've already cut out, but so there's those. And then I also have some set aside out of that blue, that little blue skin that I showed you. Let's see. And I'm gonna do those. And then I am gonna do one of the bracelets out of the brown skin. And that's what it's gonna, whoop, turned over. That's what it's gonna look like, if you can get an idea, on later. But I'm not gonna fill those in quite yet because I think that I have to take these off so that I can lay it down flat to pour the resin in. You have to have these laying down flat to pour resin in it. So let's see. Because these bezels have the hook on them, they can't lay down flat for the resin to dry in this nice and flat. So what I do is I lay them on the board with the hook hanging over the edge so that the resin will dry flat. So this is how I'm gonna end up filling them in with the resin. Now let's talk about the resin. The resin that I like to use is ice resin. It is really super easy. It takes all the measuring out. You just unsnap this little guy right here and pull him off, and both of the nozzles, you squeeze it down like that, and you don't have to worry about measuring out equal parts of resin. You just have, you know, equal parts of resin. Now, let's see. I have these little bitty teeny tiny cups that I'm going to use. Let me see if these stirrers right here, see if these guys will fit into that little cup. I might use the small end. I mean, it does, but I feel like the smaller end will be easier for me to mix. Okay, so the ice resin, and the best thing about this ice resin is that it dries super clear. And that little nozzle that I was telling you guys about, it allows you to recap the resin and use it multiple different times without wasting. So you have to mix this resin for at least 2 minutes. And what I'm going to end up doing is, instead of trying to pour this resin into my bezels, like out of the cup, I'm going to take my stick and I'm going to let it flow off of my stick into the bezels. So I'm going to stir this all up. So I'm going to pick some up. I'm going to let it drizzle into the bezel. Move it around and around, making sure that it spreads. Now this ice resin is self-leveling, but I really want it to go to the edges, making sure that it's all covered. Okay, so 2 scoops. 1, 2. So you can see it doesn't take much of this resin to fill a bezel, which is really awesome as to why you can use little bits of that resin at a time. And also, if I don't mix enough, I can just always go back and mix some more. So I'm being very careful. I don't want any spillage on this. Because then the bezels will stick to the whatchamacallit, the board. That's actually happened to me before, where the bezels have actually stuck to the board, and we don't want that. So I'm just kind of pushing this resin around, making sure that it's covering everything and that it is like going to self level. I think I want a little more in that one. Boop. Yeah, that's better. Just stir it up. Touching the edges. That one's gonna be super uber pretty. It looks like I've mixed just enough for this project, which is great. Just checking to make sure none of them are running over. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to use my handy dandy torch, and I want to torch out all the air bubbles. And literally you don't have to hold the torch over these to get all the air bubbles out, but being super diligent. Alrighty. That one right there has a little divot in it, so I think I'm gonna try drop a, there we go. I still see bubbles in it. Alrighty. Well, there you have it. My bezels are completely finished. They look beautiful, they're shiny, they look awesome, and I can't wait to figure out how I'm going to make some chains for them. I'm going to get you guys down to take a look. So there's one, a nice dark one. The blue one of my favorites. Also, this one right here on the corner is one of my favorites. The one with the trimmers in it, beautiful. That blue one. So these are going to turn out to be some really beautiful pendants. And it's like people get to wear my art. So I'm really excited about it. Anyway, if you've liked what you see here, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, I'm really excited about how these turned out. Thanks for stopping by, y'all. Bye-bye. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed what you just watched, please hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up for a like, and hit the bell. That'll give you notifications when I post new videos. I really enjoyed painting today, and I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you get inspired to do all types of things. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, y'all.